absolutely unbelievable. It's a tie game! Woo! Finally!
Go Leafs, go!
It's not baseball, but let's see a rally. Let's go Leafs!
It has been a while. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Maple Leafs Media. As always, I'm your guy, Jake, and we will be talking about the Stanley Cup Finals. The stage is set. The Montreal Canadiens. Yeah, you heard me. The Montreal Canadiens are going to be matching up against the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Stanley Cup Finals. It's going to be a dandy. Let's get to the comments section. We got Joseph Clark here saying, let's go. Nice to see you, Joseph. Let's get it going in the comments section. How is everybody feeling? If you were to said at the beginning of the season that the Montreal Canadiens were going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals, I don't think many people would have believed you. But if you said that, good on you, because you must be able to see into the future. The Montreal Canadiens have been scratching and clawing, and hats off to them. They have earned the right to represent Canada in the Stanley Cup Finals. Hats off to the Canadiens. In the playoffs, the Canadiens, here's some interesting stats. These are just mind-boggling stats. The Montreal Canadiens in the playoffs are 11-2 when they score the first goal. They're 11-0 when they score 2 or more goals. It's really hard to get 2 or more goals against the Montreal Canadiens. Carey Price is a great goaltender, and they will shut you down and wear you down defensively. They've had 13 consecutive games without allowing a power play goal. 30 for the last 30 penalty kill attempts. They've been successful. That is stellar. That's outstanding. That's unheard of. That's actually an NHL record. Amazing in the postseason. The Montreal Canadiens, what they have done, it's really outstanding. Hopefully no one said Habs were making the finals. I didn't say it. I don't think many people did say it, but it's what we're with now, and they have earned the right to be here. They've earned the right to be here. They fought really hard, and Carey Price, good on them. I'm not a Montreal Canadiens fan, obviously, as you can see, Maple Leafs media, Toronto Maple Leafs stuff here, but I will say this about the Montreal Canadiens. And no, I'm not cheering for them in this series. They have some likable players on their team. They have some players that you would like to see succeed and win a Stanley Cup. Eric Stahl, he's won a Stanley Cup with Carolina. He's been doing it for a long time. You might want to see him win another Stanley Cup. Corey Perry, same thing. Carey Price, I think this is someone that can rally behind. You don't have to be a Montreal Canadiens fan to want to see Carey Price win a championship. I'd love to see it. I don't necessarily want it to be with Montreal, but this is his opportunity to do it. No, I'm not cheering for the Montreal Canadiens in this series. I don't really want to see either of these teams win the Cup. This is the only team I wanted to see win the Cup this year, the Toronto Maple Leafs. But obviously that's not happening. So it is what it is. I said Leafs in 6. What a dumb prediction. You know what? I said that, Clarky. I said that myself as well. Joseph Clark, that was my prediction as well. And, you know, you don't look as dumb when everyone is on the same page as you. Like, it was very hard to find people who were predicting Montreal would win the first series, even. Not many people were buying the Montreal Canadiens to make it out of the first series. That's just the way it is. They were the 18th seeded team in the NHL, the lowest seed to make it in, but they've proved so many people wrong. They're the ultimate underdogs, and it's been very impressive. It's been fascinating to watch. Yannick says, I hope you cheer for the Canadian team, the only one left. I can't work myself up to do that personally. I can't do it. I don't want to see either of these teams win. That's just the way it is. If this was the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup Finals, and you ask Montreal Canadiens fans, do you want the Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup? Pretty sure the answer would be no. You might get some mixed answers, and I'm sure there's some people in Leafs Nation that want the Canadiens to win the Stanley Cup, but I am not one of them. I'm just not one of them. And yes, Yannick, they absolutely have earned their spot. They've been scratching and clawing, and they've been playing a physical brand of hockey. They will shut you down. In 17 games, their penalty kill percentage is 93.5. They're successful on killing 93.5% of the penalties in the playoffs. That's stellar. It's stellar. If you can take away the power play unit of the opposing teams, it's going to make it harder on them. They have to score 5-on-5. And if you can't score on the power play, it's going to be even harder to do so 5-on-5, obviously. I cheered for the Leafs against Boston, even if Habs were out, but I understand your position. And you know what, Yannick? Thank you for understanding understanding my position. I will talk up the Montreal Canadiens, and I will tell people that the Montreal Canadiens deserve to be here, and that it's been very fun and entertaining to watch them, but I just can't cheer for them. I can talk about them, I can say how great they've been, but I just can't cheer for them. If they were playing Boston in the Stanley Cup Finals, I would be cheering for the Montreal Canadiens as well. But if this was Toronto and Tampa Bay, I'd be curious to know if your position was the same. So there's so many headlines, storylines that are fascinating in this series, but I think the top one. See, I don't know if this is even the top one, but the main storyline, in my opinion, is the goaltending. The goaltending in this series. You have the two best goaltenders in the NHL. You have Andrei Vasilevsky and Carey Price going head to head. It's going to be hard for these offenses to produce or generate much offense when they're facing these goaltenders. Andrei Vasilevsky, look at the stats he's put up here. 1.99 goals against average, 936 save percentage, and 4 shutouts. 4 shutouts. What? 4 shutouts. And Carey Price, 2.02 goals against average, 934 save percentage, and 1 shutout. So identical statistics, not as many shutouts. These goaltenders, they have been amazing. It's unreal to watch them. It's really stellar. And I said Andrei Vasilevsky has 4 shutouts. Well, the times that he's been doing these shutouts, it's been outstanding to watch. Very effective goaltending from Andrei Vasilevsky. The last 4. So in his last 4 consecutive series clinching games, they were shutouts. And that's dating all the way back to the Stanley Cup Finals last year against the Dallas Stars. He has closed out the series every single time, the past 4 consecutive times, with a shutout. That's really fascinating to watch. Andrei Vasilevsky, the Tampa Bay Lightning, that's a team that a lot of people probably would have picked to be here. They would have said, yeah, Tampa Bay Lightning, they're going to go back and they're going to get another one of these right here. You're going to win another Stanley Cup. And they're trying to build the dynasty in Tampa Bay. Chris Patterson says, go Lightning, go. I don't think they would get that far without Price. I'm a true Maple Leafs fan. Go Tampa Bay Lightning, go. So, yeah, I'm curious to know what everyone in the comments section here has to say. Who do you want to win this series? Who do you want to win this series? I'm sure there's a lot of Leafs fans, and I'd be curious to know what other fans there are in here. Habs lost their shutouts in third periods by playing on heels when leading, and that's true. That is true. Montreal Canadiens, like I said, their record when they don't allow more than 2 goals, it's 11-2 or 11-0. They're undefeated when they don't allow more than 2 goals, and scoring 2 goals against this defense and Carey Price, That's a difficult, daunting task to do. It's going to be hard for the Tampa Bay Lightning to do it, but if there is a team to do it, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning because they are stacked, and offensively, they have the top 5 players in the playoffs in scoring. That's got to be scary and a bit concerning for a Montreal Canadiens fan. But then again, as a Montreal Canadiens fan, it probably would have been scary when you were down 3-1 to Toronto. It would have been scary when uh, you were going up against the Vegas Golden Knights. You made it out of Canada, out of the North Division, and people were saying, people were writing off the Montreal Canadiens. I didn't do it, but people were writing them off against Vegas, and that just wasn't right. The Montreal Canadiens have been a very resilient group, but they're going to have the biggest challenge of all of them coming up in the Stanley Cup Finals, and that's the way it should be. They have Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Anders Killorn, Steven Stamkos, and Victor Hedman. The top 5 players in scoring in the playoffs all play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Montreal Canadiens respond to that and how they can shut down these pairings. It's going to be interesting to see. They've been stellar. They haven't allowed a power play goal in 13 games. 30 of their last 30 attempts, they've successfully killed those penalties. 11-2 when scoring first, and 11-0 when scoring 2 or more goals. So it's really hard to get a lot of goals against the Montreal Canadiens. Habs' young core is a key, and you know what else is a key? Their defense is stacked. They have a lot of defensive players that will shut you down. And then the additions they had this offseason and then at the trade deadline as well, they were actually very notable. Corey Perry is a playoff performer. Another playoff performer, Eric Stahl. Those 2 players won Stanley Cups. You know who else has won a Stanley Cup? That is Joel Edmondson on defense. They added Stanley Cup champions. They infused those. They infused some nice veterans to this team with a nice young core. Nick Suzuki, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and they waited. They waited. Mark Bergevin waited on calling up Cole Caulfield until towards the end of the season. He got him some NHL experience, and then right during the playoffs, Cole Caulfield, he started tearing it up. And this team, all around, they are a playoff team. Cole Caulfield is showing he's a big stage player. And yes, I'm going to relate this back to the Leafs for a second. I'm not going to do this very much. Cole Caulfield he's definitely showing he's a big stage player, and that's something that Leafs Nation has not seen from their young core. As a Leafs fan, seeing what Cole Caulfield is doing in his rookie season with very little NHL experience, that's worrisome. That's a very scary sight for the long term. Cole Caulfield's going to be a star in this league, and he's going to be here for a very long time. He fell in that draft based off one thing, and that was his size. His size. The league should have learned from Martin St. Louis not to count someone out because of their size. Cole Caulfield is a big stage player. He's showing it. Time and time again, he's proving people wrong. Cole Caulfield is what people are calling him now. He's coming up with big-time goals, big-time moments. He's a stellar performer. And you saw it in the World Juniors as well with USA. Cole Caulfield's a big stage player. The World Juniors. He's helped this team make it to the Stanley Cup Finals in Montreal. Cole Caulfield is a problem for Leafs fans and teams around the league for a really long time, I think. But this is the ultimate underdog story. The Montreal Canadiens are the ultimate underdog, and it's been fun to watch. Even as a Leafs fan, it's been fun to watch. It's been a tough pill to swallow at times, but it's been very fun to watch. They were the 18th seed in the NHL. That's the lowest seed to make it to the playoffs. Part of that, maybe because of the injuries they sustained at the end of the season. Brendan Gallagher had a broken thumb. Philip Deneau was missing time. I'm trying to think of all these injuries. I believe Shea Weber was injured. Carey Price was injured. There was a lot of injuries and a lot of things going wrong for the Montreal Canadiens in the regular season. But when it matters most, they pieced it all together. They got healthy right in time for the playoffs. And the ultimate underdog, the 18th seed in the NHL, the lowest ranked team to qualify for the playoffs, they've advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals. And I think this is really good for the game of hockey. I think it's really good for the game of hockey to see a Canadian team advance to the Stanley Cup Finals and to see a team that is the ultimate underdog make it this far, because it just goes to show that this is the hardest playoffs in all of sports. The NHL playoffs are the hardest playoffs in all of sports because you have to finish out a 7-game series, and it's a true team sport. Everybody can make contributions up and down the entire lineup at any time. The Montreal Canadiens, ultimate underdog. And in every series, they've been the underdog. Even in that Winnipeg series, when the Jets were shaky. They swept the Edmonton Oilers, but the end of the season for the Winnipeg Jets was shaky, and people were saying Winnipeg was going to win that series. I predicted Montreal would win that series. Not the other two, but that series I predicted Montreal would win that one. They've been the underdogs in every series. Went down 3-1 to Toronto. Damn, that hurts still. Still hurts. But they went down 3-1 to Toronto. And even Montreal Canadiens fans, you should admit this. You were writing the Montreal Canadiens off at that point too. A lot of you were. You were panicking, and I understand why. But then they were resilient. They came back down 3-1, won 4-3, sweep the Winnipeg Jets, and then they beat the Vegas Golden Knights, the 2nd seed in the NHL, who just came off a victory against the Colorado Avalanche, and before that, the Minnesota Wild. So the Montreal Canadiens are the ultimate underdog. They'll become the first Canadian team to play in the Stanley Cup Finals since 2011. And that was when the Boston Bruins defeated the Vancouver Canucks. I'm sure you remember that. 1993 was the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup. And it was also the last time the Montreal Canadiens made an appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals. It was them who won it. They're looking to make this their 25th Stanley Cup title. That's insane. That's the most in hockey. 24 is the most in hockey. Leafs have the second most. But we haven't touched the cup since 1967. The Montreal Canadiens, they have an opportunity to do it again. They were the last Canadian team to do it. And by all means, please do not count out the Montreal Canadiens in this series. I don't care that they're going up against the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are trying to build a dynasty. The Lightning are trying to build a dynasty, but don't bet against Montreal. That'd be a mistake, I think. This is a team that's proved people wrong far too many times. And I'm not even going to touch making a prediction on this series. Just Montreal, they're the underdogs, and they might surprise us in this series again. Imagine how fun it is for us Montrealers. It must be really fun. It must be really fun. Yeah, I'm not even going to say that. The Toronto Raptors is what I was going to go to, but this is like 10 times that, maybe 100 times that. This is Canada. Hockey is king. Yeah, I wish the Toronto Maple Leafs could at least make it past the first round. That would be nice. I'm not even asking for a Stanley Cup. I just want to make it out of the first series. How's it going, Fortnite Gamer? Welcome to the chat. Nice to see you. Dom Ducharme has plans for every situation. And that's another thing. How about the resilience of the Montreal Canadiens when their head coach is out due to the virus? He's out right now. Dominic Ducharme has been out for what? The past, is it 2 or 3 games? He's been out, and the Montreal Canadiens said, you know what, we're going to go out there, and we're going to do this for the coach. Even without our head coach, we're going to keep going. We're going to push through it. that has an effect. Not having your head coach back there, that has an effect on people. On your team, that definitely has an effect in the locker room. But this team stayed motivated, and he's not going to be back until Game 3 of this series. They're pushing for their coach right now. Yeah, they're past 4 games. They're past 4 games. He's been out. That's insane. And coming back Game 3. That's right. Thank you, Yannick. Let's flip to the Tampa Bay Lightning a bit here. We've been talking a lot about the Montreal Canadiens, and we'll talk more about the Montreal Canadiens because they've earned the right to be talked about to this magnitude. Like, they have pushed the envelope, and they've overcome adversity this season, and not many people believed in them. But that's been fascinating to watch. As for the Tampa Bay Lightning, we all know they're the defending Stanley Cup champions. They also haven't had an easy road to the Stanley Cup Finals. They were actually kind of an underdog. They were 8th seeded team in the NHL. They were a bit of an underdog, but a team that was kind of slept on because they had the injuries of Steven Stamkos and Nikita Kucherov. Kucherov and Stamkos were on long-term injured reserve. They were able to create more cap flexibility due to that, and then they beat the Florida Panthers, who was above them in the regular season. They beat the Florida Panthers in the first series. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes, another team that people were saying Carolina Hurricanes might make a run here. I feel like a lot of people were just not talking about the Tampa Bay Lightning this year, and it's not really fair that they weren't. I think more people should have put more respect on the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is the defending Stanley Cup champions. They beat the New York Islanders in Game 7 last night. That was a fun game to watch. I thought it was a fun game to watch. I'm sure there's a lot of people who didn't think it was. I like defensive hockey. It's nice to watch, and that might be why it's been so entertaining to watch the Montreal Canadiens go this far. But they have eliminated the Florida Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the New York Islanders in Tampa. The Lightning, they're coming for a Stanley Cup championship again. This is their 4th Stanley Cup appearance, and they're competing for their 3rd championship in 29 years of being a team. That's very impressive. To just put that into perspective, the Maple Leafs haven't been to the Stanley Cup since 1967. The Toronto Maple Leafs haven't made it out of the first round in 18 years. The Lightning have been around 29 years, and they've gone to 4 Stanley Cup Finals now, and they're competing for the 3rd championship. That franchise, that young franchise, is a winning franchise. There's a winning culture around Tampa Bay, and they're hoping to do it again. The Montreal Canadiens, last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup back in 1993. This is going to be a very entertaining Stanley Cup Finals to watch. I will be watching every game, and I hope you do too. I will be here post-game. I'm planning on doing it every single game. I'll be here post-game to break it down. I'll break down every single game, give my thoughts, and I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below throughout the shows as well. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash the like button and hit the notification bell to be notified every time new content is being released on Maple Leafs Media. A lot of stuff coming out. It's mostly Leafs related stuff, but my last video was Jack Eichel. Where will he land? I highlighted I highlighted 7 teams I think he could go to, and I narrowed it down to my top 3 teams I think he'll end up going to. I want to talk hockey. I just want to talk hockey. The main focus is the Maple Leafs, yes, but as you see here, Stanley Cup Finals preview, Tampa Bay, Montreal. I'm down to talk hockey. It doesn't matter if it's the Seattle Kraken or the Boston Bruins. I just want to talk hockey. My ultimate goal is to be a sports journalist, so this is a place to come on and talk hockey with other hockey fans. The thing is, Habs and Leafs fans under 30 haven't seen a cup in Canada, and it's great for Canadian hockey. Sean, you're right. It is great for Canadian hockey. It is great for Canadian hockey, sure. But myself, I just can't cheer for the Montreal Canadiens. I can't do it. It's the oldest rivalry in hockey. If you were a Boston Red Sox fan, would you ever cheer for the New York Yankees if they're playing the Toronto Blue Jays in the MLB Finals in the World Series? I'm sure a lot of people don't even watch baseball, but the answer to that question is no. It's impossible for that to happen because they're in the same division, but the answer is no. You wouldn't cheer for the Yankees or the Red Sox if you're the opposing team's fan base. So I can't cheer for Montreal. I can't do it. This is the only team I can cheer for right here, Toronto Maple Leafs. But I can talk hockey with anyone else. Yannick says, I am a true Habs fan. Like your approach. Discovered you during our series, of course, but watching you since. Thank you very much, Yannick. I appreciate that. This is a place where we just talk hockey. It doesn't matter what team it is. I'm down to talk hockey anytime, any place. I appreciate you coming on here and giving your thoughts. It's nice to get some perspective from a Montreal Canadiens fan. It's been a while since I've done a stream. Hopefully we pack the room, pack the chat with more people post game. And the first game is Monday night. I will be here live afterwards. After every game in this series, I'll be live. And I hope it's a lengthy series. I want this season to have a great storybook ending. I want this to be a season to remember. And for Montreal Canadiens fans, it definitely is. For Leafs fans, it's a season to forget. But as a hockey fan, this Stanley Cup Finals can make up for that a bit. It can make this a very memorable season. I want to go back to that comment about it's great for hockey. I kind of went off topic a bit, said I can't cheer for Montreal, but this is great for hockey in Canada, yes. What has anyone under 30? Anyone under 30 has seen Olympic gold. They've seen Olympic gold, they've seen the World Junior victories, but they haven't seen a Stanley Cup in Toronto. And I'm under 30. I haven't seen a Stanley in Canada. I haven't seen a Stanley Cup in Canada either. It would be very fun to watch a Stanley Cup in Canada for sure. The parade in Montreal, it would be insane. And that goes for Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Ottawa, Winnipeg, Toronto. It goes for all these places. The parade in Canada, hockey is king. The parade for a Stanley Cup champion in Canada would be massive. So we saw what it was like for the Toronto Raptors when they won a NBA title. But this hockey's king in Canada, so it would be 100 times that. It would be massive, and it would be fun to watch. I'm a Habs fan. My father is a Leafs fan, and if the Habs are out, I would go for Toronto just because of Boston and the USA teams. All right, Sean. So I would cheer for the Montreal Canadiens if they're playing the Boston Bruins, and I would have cheered for them if they were playing the New York Islanders. I didn't like the way that a lot of that fan base handled the John Tavares situation when he left. I thought the jersey burnings were very unnecessary. I don't condone that at all. I don't respect that. It's just a very disrespectful thing to do. But I just can't cheer for Montreal unless they're playing one of those two teams, really. I'm not cheering for anyone in the series. I'm just watching as a hockey fan. I want to see the best hockey there is. I want this to be a 7-game series, go double overtime in Game 7. I want this to be a chippy series. I want it to be physical. I want there to be some high-scoring games and some low-scoring games. I just want the best product for hockey out there. It's going to be fun to watch it. Is Clarky going to do the after show too? I'll talk to him. I will talk to Clarky, see if I can get him on here for some post-game shows. Maybe I can get him on for one or two, but I'm just talking hockey here. So Habs beat out the Leafs and the Jets and even Vegas, teams that the Habs weren't even supposed to beat as the 18th place team. Yes, and that's kind of what happened last year too, in the bubble. the Montreal Canadiens weren't expected to make any noise, but they did. They made it out of the preliminary round. They made some noise. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins in the preliminary round. No one was expecting that. This year, the Leafs were, come on, man. The Leafs were supposed to be the team to make it out of Canada. Like, that's what everyone was thinking. And a lot of Habs fans too, especially when they were down 3-1. People, it was just, okay, the Leafs will make it out. No. This goes to show that this division was actually more challenging than people thought. People are writing off the Canadian division. Well, the 18th seeded team, the lowest seeded team to make it out of the North Division, is representing Canada in the finals, in the Stanley Cup Finals. And they beat the second overall team in the NHL as well. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights. That's very impressive. Very impressive. Teams that the Habs weren't even supposed to beat. Vegas. Winnipeg. They swept Winnipeg. They swept the Jets. And people were saying, oh, Winnipeg's got this. They swept the Jets, and they came back down 3-1 from the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is a resilient group that was built to win. Big credit, hats off to Marc Bergevin and the front office in Montreal. They built this team. They constructed it to win. Stanley Cup champions, Joel Edmondson. You have Corey Perry and Eric Stahl. All won Stanley Cups. You have great leadership. Shea Weber, Carey Price. I really loved the addition of Josh Anderson. He's a physical guy. And then, yeah, how about Carey Price? This guy. I'm not like I've said this before. I can't cheer for Montreal, but I can cheer for this guy. Story behind this little story time, I guess. This picture, I sent this in the mail to Carey Price. It's an 8x10 photo. He signed it. I'm a Leafs fan. I said that in my letter to him too. He still signed it. Great guy. Big fan of Carey Price. Mike Panucci says, who cares about Montreal Canadiens? That's the hottest topic. That's like one of the hottest topics in Canada right now. In the sports world, it's the hottest topic in Canada right now. I'm coming in on here to talk hockey, and that's just Mike. You're a Leafs fan. I understand you don't want to see a Leafs channel talking about Montreal in the Stanley Cup Finals. I wouldn't either if I was in your seat, but here I am. Here I am. The Montreal Canadiens deserve to be talked about. And Yannick, Montreal Canadiens fan, at 3-1, honestly, I really thought it was lights out. But I called the shot against the Winnipeg Jets. Thank you, Yannick. Thank you. Thank you very much. That right there, that comment is spot on of what Montreal Canadiens fans were feeling here. When they were down 3-1 to the Montreal Canadiens, or to the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens were down 3-1 in the series to the Toronto Maple Leafs, the top-seeded team in the North Division. Yeah, people thought they were lights out. But you know what I said at that point in time? I actually said this on my post-game stream after Game 4. I said, don't count Montreal out. I said it. People were saying, oh, it's series over. The comment section was flowing in. It's over. Series over. I said, pump the brakes. Do not count the Montreal Canadiens out. And what happened? The Montreal Canadiens made it out of that series, and then they swept Winnipeg. Good call, Yannick. They swept the Jets. I said they'd win that series in 6. Winnipeg couldn't even compete with them. And then, wow, Vegas Golden Knights. People said, oh, it's the number 2 seed in the NHL against the number 18 seed. No competition. The Canadian division's too weak. And the Montreal Canadiens persevere. They make it through again. This team has earned the right to be in the Stanley Cup Finals. They've had no easy path. They have had a very challenging task. The easiest series they had was Winnipeg, and even that's a challenge. The Montreal Canadiens have been stellar. And yes, Yannick, referring to the Carey Price signed photo. Yeah, so sent this to him. Sent it to him in the mail, and he returned it signed. Big thank you to him. Another guy who did that was Guy Lafleur. I have a puck signed by him. I like to collect autographs, and if you'd like to see some autographs or whatever, just let me know. I'd be happy to make a video showing my collection. Mostly Leaf stuff, but I've got this is my Gretzky signed jersey. Just showing some stuff off here. Having fun. Talk hockey. Do you think the Leafs are going to re-sign Hyman? Mike, I'll make a video about that, but in this video I just want to talk Montreal Tampa Bay. I don't want to go off topic and talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I don't want to. Zach Hyman, I would love to say we do re-sign him, but it's going to be challenging. It's going to be a challenge. That's all I'm going to say now. I'll make a video about it. Stay tuned for it. It's going to come out next couple weeks. I'll pump that out for sure. Bulldog, number 11. I cheer for the Habs, but I don't think they're going to do well. What are your thoughts? Well, you know what? Bulldog 11. It's really hard to answer that question, okay? I think that the Montreal Canadiens would have matched up better against New York Islanders, just because two defensive teams going at it. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, like I said, the top 5 players in scoring and points in the playoffs this year are all in the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hedman, Killorn, Point, Stamkos, and who's the other one? Kucherov. They have 5 players that lead the league in scoring in the playoffs. But the Montreal Canadiens, they are 11-0 when they don't allow more than 2 goals. Or when they score two or more goals, they're 11-0. So it's really, I think it's going to come down to the goaltending in this series. It's going to be back and forth, but it's as a Maple Leafs fan, I don't want the Habs to win. No, I don't. But I've seen this too many times. Too many times they've proved people wrong. They've proved people wrong far too many times in this playoffs for me to say that I don't think they're going to do well. I think that they'll definitely be competing. I'm not going to make a prediction of how far this is going to go, because that didn't work out for me well in the Toronto series. And it didn't work out well for me in the Vegas series either. I'm not going to make a prediction of who's going to win this series or how far it's even going to go. I think it's going to be a very tightly contested matchup. I think the Montreal Canadiens are going to give the Tampa Bay Lightning all they can handle. I'll say it like that. The Montreal Canadiens, this team has been tested time and time again. And the leadership on this group, it's outstanding. Shea Weber, he's hungry for a Stanley Cup. You have 3 players who've won a Stanley Cup in Joel Edmondson, Corey Perry, and Eric Stahl. They're veterans, and they would love to get another one, add another one to their resume. Carey Price has done so much, and we've seen him on the Olympic stage, on the World Junior stage. You remember that World Junior shootout, where Carey Price and Jonathan Taves won it, the gold medal for Canada against Team USA. Carey Price has shown that he is a clutch goaltender, and he does stuff like this. He makes incredible saves like this look easy.
The wide open net, watch that plant, and then just reach with the stick in desperation, gets there, and oh man, that's one that is Jason Spezzi's thinking, I better get this up, better not put it along the ice.
So to answer your question, Bulldog 11, I think they're going to be fine. And even if the Montreal Canadiens lose this series, the Stanley Cup Finals, Montreal Canadiens fans should be happy. They should be. You should be happy and you should be proud of this team. You still have a very young core, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Jesperi Kotkaniemi. These guys are going to be here for a really long time in Montreal. So win or lose, just be proud of this group and enjoy every minute of the Stanley Cup Finals. Because as a Leafs fan, I can only dream of making it out of the first round. That must be so satisfying to watch your team in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's the save of the year. It's unreal. It's unreal. And after that, Jason Spezza, he says, Carey Price, one of the best goaltenders of the generation. And he's right. Jason Spezza, real recognizes real. Frank Rusty Nails says, Jake, when are you going to do a chat show discussing everyone's thoughts on what the Leafs will be doing this summer? So Frank Rusty Nails, thanks for the comment. Thanks for coming into the comment section as always. I want to wait for the Stanley Cup Finals to finish before I talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs again. I want to appreciate what Montreal is doing right now, and I want to enjoy watching this. I want to come on here, and I'm going to have post-game coverage of every game in the finals. I've got the other Bills channel as well. I've got the NHL's busy next month in July. The season's back on again. The off season is going to be short this year. We got the Seattle expansion draft, the NHL draft, free agency. All that stuff's happening in the next month or so. So it's going to be very exciting. I'm gonna do it shortly after the Stanley Cup Finals, though. In the next 2 or 3 weeks, you'll see some more Leafs related stuff. My last video I posted the other day was about Jack Eichel and where I think he'll land. I'll be doing stuff about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'll continue doing that. Obviously, this is Maple Leafs Media. It's the main point of the channel is to talk Maple Leafs, but I just want to talk hockey right now. Enjoy the Stanley Cup Finals, and then I'll do a live show or two. Maybe I'll do this. I'll do a live show where we talk Resign or Let Walk Toronto Maple Leafs edition. I'll do that, and we'll talk about the upcoming unrestricted and restricted free agents for the Maple Leafs, and we'll give our thoughts on whether we'd like to re-sign them or let them walk. Jason Spezza was already re-signed by the Maple Leafs, in case you didn't already hear. But that's my plan for this channel in the next coming weeks. What are your thoughts on the young guns, Cole Caulfield, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Nick Suzuki, etc., and how they are doing? Let's start with Nick Suzuki. This is a guy who played for the Guelph Storm. He won an OHL championship, the Ontario Hockey League. He won a championship there. This is a guy who has won, and he was motivated last series against the Vegas Golden Knights. That was the team that traded his rights to the Montreal Canadiens. Nick Suzuki is an outstanding player. Very young. He's going to be a talent in this league for a long time. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, another young player. He was selected in the top 5 by the Montreal Canadiens a couple years back, and he's looked good. These playoffs, he's been stellar. Okay, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Nick Suzuki, and Cole Caulfield. This group for the Montreal Canadiens, they're a special group, and they're going to be here for a long time. They're going to be a concern for Toronto Maple Leafs fans and fans around the Atlantic Division once that division goes back to normal. Cole Caulfield, I think the Montreal Canadiens, specifically Marc Bergevin, handled him exceptionally well. The only reason Cole Caulfield fell to Montreal in this past draft was because of his size. Montreal said, "What? Cole Caulfield's exceptional. We're gonna snag him up," and then they just let him develop in the NCAA a bit. They call him back. They call him up towards the end of the season. Great move, perfect timing for it. Team was injury riddled. They call him up, and then he gets a couple of games of NHL experience under his belt. Sits out the first 2 games of the Toronto-Montreal series, and then he's thrown in there and he makes an impact right away. Cole Caulfield, he's stellar. Stellar talents in Caulfield, Kotkaniemi, Nick Suzuki. Uh, they're going to have they have a long career ahead of them and a lot of opportunities to win a Stanley Cup. Uh, it's the guys like Eric Stahl, Corey Perry, Carey Price, and Shea Weber that, even as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, it's nice to see these guys making a push for a Stanley Cup final or Stanley Cup championship. I want to see Carey Price win one of these. I really do. I don't want the Montreal Canadiens to do it. I'd be lying to you if a Leafs fan said I wanted Montreal to win. I'd be lying to you. But I do want Carey Price to win a Stanley Cup. I don't mind Corey Perry. I'd like to see him win another Stanley Cup. He's been around the league forever. Eric Stahl? Yeah, he's a great veteran talent. Sure. Joel Edmondson, he's won one. Shea Weber, great shutdown defenseman. He puts his head down, does his work. I'd like to see him win a Stanley Cup. I just don't want it to be the Montreal Canadiens, but it is. Devin says, not going to lie, it feels good having a Canadian team in the Cup Finals. Going to be so entertaining and so exciting. And hopefully more fans get in. John Cooper, the coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning, hats off to him for this. He said he wanted the Montreal Canadiens to have a packed house. I don't think it's going to happen necessarily, but he said he wanted them to have a packed house for this game. He wants to see all their fans rallying behind them, and that would be very fun. That would be fun to watch as a fan in Canada. I would love to see that. I would. I miss going to hockey games, and I'm sure everyone in Montreal, you miss going to hockey games too. I'd love for you guys to have the opportunity to see a Canadian team cup in the finals for the first time since 2011 and see the Montreal Canadiens in the finals for the first time since 1993. Just like I would love to go to a game to see the Maple Leafs playing the Stanley Cup Finals, but it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon. So yeah, it's exciting to see a Canadian team in the finals. It definitely is. The Montreal Canadiens are representing Canada right now. Great move from Bergevin. Pacioretty against Suzuki. Tatar and a choice. Wow. Yep. I mean, Bubbles here says, "Go Habs, go." I'm not going to say that, but go Canada, go. I guess it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch a series. Montreal Canadiens, Tampa Bay Lightning. I will be here after every game for post-game coverage, doing a post-game show, and I hope to see you all here. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash the like button and hit the notification bell to be notified every time new content's being released. I've been talking a lot about the Montreal Canadiens here. I've talked a bit about the Tampa Bay Lightning, but I think we should talk a bit more about the Lightning. This is a team that they're a very young franchise still. They've only been around for 29 years. They came into existence the last time the Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup. And in that time frame, they've gone to 4 Stanley Cup Finals. If they win this year, this will be their 3rd Stanley Cup championship. Since 2004, they've won 2 Stanley Cups. This young franchise is trying to build a dynasty. The Tampa Bay Lightning have a nice franchise. They have the top 5 players in scoring in the playoffs in 2021. But if there's a team that can shut this Tampa Bay Lightning team down, it's the Montreal Canadiens. This is a match made in heaven, honestly. Tampa Bay, Montreal. You have a high-scoring, high-octane offense with leadership all around and a great goaltender against a shutdown team with great leaders and a great goaltender. This is a match made in heaven. You have a defensive-minded team against really an all-round team, but it's more of an offensive-minded team in Tampa Bay. The thing about Tampa Bay is they have a superstar at every position. They have a top 2 goaltender, Andrei Vasilevsky. They have probably the best defenseman in the NHL, and Victor Hedman. They have Nikita Kucherov, one of the best goal scorers, and they have a top 20 center in Steven Stamkos. They have superstar talents at every position, and they're a very deep team. The Tampa Bay Lightning are a very scary team to go against, but like I said, Montreal, that would be the team to shut them down. The Islanders couldn't quite do it. They were without their captain, Anders Lee. The Montreal Canadiens have their captain, Shea Weber, and he is a great big-bodied defenseman. This is going to be a great series to watch, and I'm really looking forward to it, even as a Maple Leafs fan. It's going to be fun to watch. One last comment. If you remember, in 2004, the Flames scored a goal that nobody saw that would have won the cup if he hadn't slept. I remember the puck just crossing the line. I vaguely remember that. I do vaguely remember that. See, I was pretty young then. I was about 6. I remember this Stanley Cup Finals. I'd have to watch that over again, but I do vaguely remember that. I'll have to check that out again. But again, Tampa Bay, Montreal, Stanley Cup Finals. Not the Stanley Cup Finals that I was personally hoping for as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, but it's going to be very entertaining. And Canada, you can rally behind the Montreal Canadiens if you so choose to. I won't be cheering for them. I won't be cheering for either team. I just want to see great competitive hockey. I will be here post-game after every single game in the series. I hope to see you then. I'll take this last comment from TCB Bolt. Jake, Montreal has proven that they have heart and determination to win it all when most wrote them off. Do you think it will come down to a goaltenders duel? So yeah, let's recap your statement here. Montreal down 3-1 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Everyone counted them out. Winnipeg Jets, oh, they might win, but Winnipeg was favored in that series. And then Vegas, oh, no way, no chance that the Montreal Canadiens, the 18th seeded team in the NHL, is going to beat the number 2 seed in the NHL, the Vegas Golden Knights. It's not going to happen, right? Well, it did. It did. Montreal's proved people wrong time and time again. They're a determined bunch with a lot of leadership, great veterans on their team like Eric Stahl and Corey Perry. Stanley Cup champions. You can add Joel Edmondson to that group as well. They have a nice infusion of youth. And the goaltending in this series, I'm going to show you the stats. Andrei Vasilevsky, a 199 goals against average, 936 save percentage, and 4 shutouts. And what's amazing about that is he's had 4 consecutive series clinching shutouts. That's going all the way back to last year's Stanley Cup Finals. So in the game that the Tampa Bay Lightning have closed out each of those series, it's been a shutout. Andrei Vasilevsky has given them the best games. And the Tampa Bay Lightning, if you look at last night's game, they don't allow many shots. They didn't allow many shots last game. They come out to play in the diehard moments. But showing Vasilevsky's stats in this year's playoffs again, then look at Carey Price's. Eerily similar. The shutouts, 3 less, but Montreal, they were playing in some very tight games, down the stretch games, and they don't allow more than 2 goals. It's very rare that they allow more than 2 goals. They are 11-0 when they score 2 or more goals in a game. 2.2 goals against average and a 934 save percentage, 1 shutout. Now back to your comment. So Montreal has proved everyone wrong. They've proved the world wrong. It's Montreal against the world right now. I think this is going to come down to a goaltenders duo. It has to. These teams are close to being polar opposites of each other. It's a defensive team against a superstar team with a lot of offensive power. I think that it's going to come down to the goaltenders, Carey Price, Andrei Vasilevsky, the 2 best goaltenders in hockey. This is what people want to see. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited for it. I hope you are too. So, thank you, everybody. Dave Snow says, all I want to see is a 7-game series. Don't like either team that's left. Leaf fan for life. And Dave Snow, I'm with you. I want to see a 7-game series, and I want to see that Game 7 go go to double overtime. I want to see a great hockey game every time I watch it in the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't care who wins this. I don't. But I just want to see the best hockey that we will see. And whether it's the Montreal Canadiens or the Tampa Bay Lightning that win, that team will have deserved it. These two teams have earned it. They've earned the right to be here. And hats off to them. Hats off to Montreal. Hats off to Tampa Bay. This will be a very fun series to watch. I will be here post-game after every single game. So thank you all for coming in here tonight, watching this preview. I appreciate it. And until next time, I'm going to play the intro again. Until next time, go Leafs go. And as always, I'm your guy, Jake. Yes, I said go Leafs go in a preview. See ya.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's a tie game! Woo! Finally! Go Leafs, go! It's not baseball, but let's see a rally. Let's go Leafs!